meeting. Wait, whoa. It's okay. I'd like to call the public meeting for July 18th to order. Ask that everyone stand as we pledge allegiance to the flag of America. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Thank you and welcome to the public meeting for July. Appreciate your attendance. And I think it may be a little bit long today, but I think when we're done, people are going to be kind of excited. Lisa, would you please read the opening statement and call the roll?
This is to advise the general public and to instruct that it be recorded in the minutes and in compliance with the Senator Byron and Fair Open Public Meetings Act. The Casino Reinvestment Development Authorities and its annual meeting schedule for August 2016 through July 2017, setting forth the time, date, and location of this meeting to the Secretary of State's office in Trenton, New Jersey, and the office of the Clerk of Atlantic City. The notice was published in the Press of Atlantic City, the Camden Courier Post, and the New York Star Ledger on August 1st, 2016, and August 2nd, 2016. Members of the press will be permitted to take photographs at today's meeting, providing that it is done in a manner which is not distracting to the authority, nor interferes with the public's right to observe the meeting. Any member of the public who wishes to address the authority regarding items to be presented to the board today will be given the opportunity to do so. Comments regarding any items that do not appear on today's agenda will be taken during the public comment portion at the end of the meeting. We ask that members of the public who address the board stand and state their name and address for the record each time they speak on an issue. It is also requested that comments be limited to 3 minutes per issue. Deborah DiLorenzo.
Present.
Ed Gant.
Here.
Marci Antonio.
Here.
Mayor Don Garnier.
Here.
Michael Hanley.
Here.
Gary Hill.
Here.
Howard Kyle.
Here.
Matt Levinson.
Here.
William Mullen.
Here.
Kevin Oldsman.
Here.
Christopher Perino.
Dave Rubuck, the Attorney General.
Charles Richmond.
Howard Kennedy.
Ford Scudder.
Bob Shaughnessy, the City Treasurer.
Frank Spencer. Richard Tolson.
Here.
Chairman Robert Mulcahy.
Here, and thank you, Lisa. The next item on the agenda is the ratification of the minutes of the June 20th, 2017 board meeting. Having assumed you've all read them, does anybody have any comments or corrections? Seeing, hearing, or hearing none, somebody make a motion to.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, so ordered. Thank you.
Was absent from the meeting.
Yes, we'll mark that in the record that Dave has abstained because he was absent. We missed you. The next item on the agenda is the always interesting Executive Director's Report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. A few things to report on today. First up, the big news obviously last week was we had our first 2 beach concerts. Drew some huge crowds. 45,000 Wednesday for Pink, which was a great show on a Wednesday night, as I said. 15,000 for Brantley Gilbert the next day. We've received some positive feedback regarding having the events midweek and also earlier in the season, which is exactly what this board's been trying to accomplish, and we were able to do that. I really need to thank Rick Santoro. He told me he's not going to be able to make the meeting today, but him and his staff for the Special Improvement District did a phenomenal job. And I know the mayor saw this firsthand as well. But I was down on the boardwalk at probably 7 in the morning the day after. We had 50,000 people here if you include the crowd that gathered on the boardwalk, and you would have no idea that there was that many people, that there was a major event the night before. So Rick and his team and also the Department of Public Works for the city did a really amazing job. So I just wanted to put that out there as well. We have another big concert coming this weekend, The Who at Boardwalk Hall. I think they're already at or near 10,000 tickets sold. So last but not least, Mr. Chairman, we unveiled this month our digital calendar, which has replaced our daily sheet. It's our basically calendar for the city's events. Larry Sieg, our Director of Marketing and Communications, is here. He's just going to give us kind of a quick walkthrough for what that looks like now. Really happy with the way that this turned out. Larry did a remarkable job as well with taking the lead on this and getting this to where we are. Significant improvement for sure. So.
Thanks, Chris. I was going to make a copy for everyone, but I didn't want to bore you with this document. But this is the original daily sheet that we used to do. I think we started about 4 years ago. There was no all-encompassing calendar for what was going on in the business community, event community, entertainment community. So we got together and did this. And we did this because the Visitor Welcome Center is not being able to handle all of the questions. So we wanted to make sure the stakeholders, ambassadors, local employees all had a link to this. This was actually emailed to them so they could look. It was a color-coded based on whether it was a business event, whether it was a regular entertainment event. So what we did is we actually pared it down. It was in about 10 different categories, and we pared it down to 4 actually individual categories in business events, community events, meetings and conventions, and also public events. Now the difference between those, the business events, we made sure that they were local organization meetings or monthly seminars or public hearings, board meetings such as our own. Community events, fundraisers, neighborhood festivals, dedication ceremonies. Just so the people on the boardwalk said, you know, hey, do you know where this is going on today? Our ambassadors who have iPads, they have their smartphones, they can look it up. So we needed to know, we knew that we needed to evolve that product. It worked well. So this last month in July, we actually launched the new digital calendar, which is located on the homepage of the CRDA website. So all the information, like I said, is broken into 4 different categories: business events, community events, meetings and conventions, and also public events. So it's really nice to see the color-coded, see the day. If you hover over, you're getting just some basic information, the date of the event, either a website, a phone number, and also the location of the event. So it's really helpful for the ambassadors to be able to answer questions, concierges at the hotels to answer questions. So it's a way for us to offer additional information to the visitors coming to the city. Updates can be made on the fly. The one thing that's nice about this, when we had the paper one and we emailed out the spreadsheet, every time we added something, we had to email it out again. Now we'd send it out one time, beginning of the month. Updates are made on the fly, so when people check it, it's automatically updated, dynamic daily. So anyway, I just wanted to
That's
share
really
that
good.
with everyone.
Hey, Larry, is there any way to get each day to come up on the TVs on the boardwalk? Just like scroll?
We just spoke about that yesterday, and I'm going to actually reach out to Matt McCarron with Impactivate to see if we can do that.
Thank you.
Yeah, and if not, at least maybe put a small little video directing people where to go
The
to.
link,
see it.
right.
So, yeah. Okay. Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, Larry. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Chris. Today, in the public session, we have really 2 consent items. There's individual items underneath it, but the first are 2 land use regulation items. I'm going to ask Lisa to read both resolutions before we act on them, and if any member feels they have to recuse themselves, let us know now. So with that, Lisa, would you please read the
Resolution of the Casino Reinvestment Development Authority approving a certificate of nonconformity for Kirk Court under application 2017-05-2010, and resolution of the Casino Reinvestment Development Authority approving a certificate of nonconformity for Kirk Court under application 2017-05-2209, and resolution of the Casino Reinvestment Development Authority approving a certificate of nonconformity for Mohammed Amari under application 2017-04-2172.
Thank you, Lisa. I actually was wrong. There's 3 items. The first 2 are single-family dwellings that exist in a resort commercial district. Under the law, they have a right to continue. We've had the public hearing. This would be to give them a certificate to certify of the use and to protect them. Public hearing was conducted on June 1st, and based on the evidence and testimony provided, our staff is recommending that the application be approved for the first 2 and also the third, but it's a little different. The third one, it's a ground floor commercial use and a second floor residential use, where second floor residential use is no longer permitted in that district. It's in the neighborhood commercial 1 zoning district. That also had a public hearing. So there are 3 non-conforming uses to be approved here. They've had the public hearing. They've been recommended by staff. Comment by any board member?
Just observation, if I could, Mr. Chair. Maybe, I may be mistaken, but in previous applications like this, haven't we had a map to see where the properties are located, just to give us an idea of where they're located? Just to give, I think, board members a better understanding of what and where it is.
I think sometimes we've had and sometimes we haven't.
I would suggest it may be a good idea to print it so we have it,
Sure.
so we can identify
Yep.
where we're approving.
Other comments from board members? Any comments from the public?
I always ask the same question all the time. In these homes and improvements on different
Do we have the address?
buildings and properties,
All right, we'll give you the address of them.
For the three for today.
Yeah.
It's 2418 and 2419 Trenwith Terrace, and the other one is 2429 Arctic Avenue.
We have that one.
Yeah, it's on the agenda.
are these owners of these properties, do they live in them? You know of?
The first two that, excuse me, the first two that he does not, he's purchased the properties, rehabbing them, and they'll be rental units.
Right.
Yes,
Is
sir.
that what you're saying?
Yes, sir.
See, these are the things that kind of bother me a lot in our city. We have too many absentee landlords. And we need more people to own property to live here. Okay? To add to our population a little bit.
That's not necessarily something we can control.
I understand that, but see, I still have to voice my opinion about this, okay? Because to me, I think that's what has been our problem in our city. Too many absentee landlords buying property and don't live in them. To see that the properties stay in shape and up to par.
Other public comments? Hearing none, a motion to approve these three items?
Moved.
Second? Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, so ordered. The second series of consent are items, are routine items that require, just as we approve the schedule of meetings for this coming year, there's a whole series of things that we have to approve, to range for everything from designating official newspapers and so on. So with that, Lisa, would you please read the resolutions, and if anybody has to recuse themselves, make sure they know.
Resolution of the Casino Reinvestment Development Authority adopting the annual notice of meetings and annual notice of land use hearings. And resolution of the Casino Reinvestment Development Authority designating certain newspapers to receive meeting and general notices. And resolution of the Casino Reinvestment Development Authority appointing certain individuals to the offices of Secretary and Assistant Secretary. And resolution of the Casino Reinvestment Development Authority designating an individual to serve as Public Agency Compliance Officer. Resolution of the Casino Reinvestment Development Authority designating an individual to serve as custodian of records. Resolution of the Casino Reinvestment Development Authority designating individuals to serve as Ethics Liaison Officer and Alternate Ethics Liaison Officer. Resolution of the Casino Reinvestment Development Authority designating individuals to serve as Certifying Officer and Supervisor for matters pertaining to the state of New Jersey retirement system. Resolution of the Casino Reinvestment Development Authority designating signatories in accordance with state treasury requirements. And resolution of the Casino Reinvestment Development Authority designating signatories to conduct business with U.S. Bank as bond trustee to the authority's Series 2014 Luxury Tax Revenue Bonds, Series 2004 Hotel Room Fee Revenue Bonds, and Series 2005 Parking Fee Revenue Bonds.
Does any member of the board have any questions they wish to raise on these routine items? Any public comment? Hearing none, I'll accept a motion to
accept.
Second.
approve the consent agenda. It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered. The Next we go to the regular agenda. There is one item on the regular agenda. It relates to the Harris donation. Authorization to amend the donation approved pursuant to Resolution 1320 adopted on February 19th, 2013. Lisa,
Chairman, I recuse myself from this.
Yes, Kevin, and I should have at the beginning, we should have congratulated you on your promotion.
Thank you.
It's well-deserved, and we look forward to great things. Lisa, would you please read the resolution?
Resolution of the Casino Reinvestment Development Authority amending the former Atlantic City Showboat Investment Alternative Tax Donation Credit approved pursuant to Resolution 13-20 adopted February 19th, 2013.
Chris, do you want to describe the action here?
Sure. So in February of 2013, the authority granted project approval and accepted a donation from the former Showboat Atlantic City, both in real property and IAT funds, and established a fund reservation in the amount of $9,531,375. The roughly $9.5 million reservation was restricted for a very specific use. We would need approval to get to use the funds for anything else. Harris has requested that we basically reconvey lots 16 through 20 of Block 157, which was the land portion, the property portion of the donation, to and there are easements in perpetuity for parking on those lots. In order to square up Harrah's current interest, fee interest in the land area. In exchange for that, they've agreed to modify the previously agreed to limitations on the monetary component so that the authority is able to support marketing and entertainment opportunities and booking of entertainment opportunities throughout the city.
That's all right. I think the deal is about half of that block still will be retained by us, the other half where there's human resource building and parking lots on each side that have easements will be conveyed to them in return for lessening the restrictions on the $9.5 million, which we can then use for marketing and other issues that pertain to our mission to make Atlantic City a destination.
Mr. Chairman, Joe Doherty, counsel for Harris, is also here if anybody has any questions. I'm sorry I didn't recognize
Joe, do you wish to say anything?
No, I think that Mr. Howard, and good afternoon, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Howard very nicely described what the transaction was, sort of an amendment to a project that was very viable at one time and now is not. And so the authority has different uses for the funds, and Caesars and Harris have different uses for the property. And this would extinguish easements and kind of clean things up, I think.
Joe, this is which property? Indiana Avenue?
Indiana to Ohio, Pacific to Atlantic, Block 157.
Both sides of the
Good. So got it.
Okay, board discussion. Anybody on the board have a question about it? I think this is something that demonstrates a level of cooperation to get things done in the city. And in the spirit of that, in the spirit of progress that we're making here in the city, I'm very appreciative that we were able to work this out. Any comments from the public?
Yeah, I'd like to make one comment. Now, on this vacant land, is anything gonna be built on it, or could it be a parking lot, or continued parking lot, or what?
Bill, I can't answer that question because nobody's come forth to want to do anything on the land. I think that this board is under consideration right now. This board is considering at this time what to do with all of our parcels and whether we make them all available for sale at an auction, and we should make that decision very shortly.
I hope I'm still around when you make the decision, please. So I can see something being put on these lots.
I would hope so too. Other comments from the public?
Just not the public, but from the board if the public's done.
Yes, David.
Just a clarification. I mean, I think this is a good deal for both parties. The land that is getting reconveyed to I guess Caesars or Harris. Is this land, are you envisioning this to be part of the pilot formula or outside the pilot formula?
I think it would be outside the pilot.
So do I. I won't hold you to it, but when you consider it in the future, we'll deal with it.
Okay. The HR building's outside the pilot.
Yes, yeah, I know. So these parking lots could be used for the property also for,
That's true.
overflow of guests.
Other questions from the board? Hearing none, I'll accept a motion to.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered. We'll come to the public comment section of the board right now, but I would add that we will be going into executive session on some contract negotiations. And there's some things that I think we're gonna discuss that should result in some action when we come out. So, public comment. Anybody in the public have, yes, Mr. Cheatham?
Ladies and gentlemen, I get up here and I say the same thing over and over and over again. But I go down Pacific Avenue every morning to get my papers. I need to stop reading papers because I read too much, it kind of disturbs me a lot. But I see blocks on Pacific Avenue. This is your tourist district.
Yes.
That's why I'm coming to you with
Yes, sir.
how I feel about what's going on there. Now, between Tennessee and South Carolina Avenue, on Pacific Avenue, someone, I don't care who it is, I don't care what department, I don't care what police division, I don't care who, but somebody needs to pay attention to that block and get something done. Now, I don't know what goes on in our society anymore. I know what used to go on, and I got common sense to know what still is going on around us. And I don't like what I see on Pacific Avenue at all. Period. You're not gonna tell me something can't be done because things used to get done. Whether you liked it or whether you didn't, it got done. We need to start getting back to that. Please. Now, my second complaint. Okay? I really feel that we have to do something with this land, like I said. We got all these lots around, there's nothing on them but weeds growing. We need to, if you gotta sell your land, whatever it takes, we need to get started getting something on those pieces of property. Now, there used to be businesses on them, used to be apartment buildings, all this used to be on these lots. Now you got another lot where the church used to be on, now that's a lot now. You're gonna tear another church down, that's gonna be a lot there. You gotta start working a little speed here, ladies and gentlemen, please. An old man like to see something done before he leaves here, really. I really do, I say the same thing, but I'm trying to push you guys.
Mr. Cheatham, I hear you. I think every member of this board hears you. And I'm tired of relating some of the information, but a substantial amount of our ability to do things was taken away in an effort to pay the bonds of the city of Atlantic City. $24 million a year. That was all money that would be used for development. So we're sort of hamstrung in what we can do. But we're looking at those lots. I would expect that we're gonna put some of them up for sale. That doesn't mean somebody's gonna do anything. They have to wanna come here and spend money to build something because they're gonna get a return. That, we would never stop that. And if anybody walked in here today and said, I wanna buy 5 lots and we tell them the price and they say to buy it, we'll sell them. We're not trying to hold them because we're land banking anything. We have the property that we've accumulated or taken over because nobody else did anything. And I hear you, we hear you, and nobody more than us
Can't
would
you
like to
guys
see all
put
this
some
happen.
restrictions on the time limit when you sell property? There's a time limit between the time they buy this property and when they get something on that property?
You can't force people to build on it,
You can't?
no.
You know, well, why can't
If
a
they
new law,
buy the property,
why can't a
what-
new law be made for that? You make new laws for whatever you want anyhow.
It's a basic human right of the Constitution.
Oh,
If you
human
own a
rights-
piece of property,
Human rights went out years ago. Come on, you know that. People do what they want when they want to do it.
well, if they do it within the law, it's fine. If they don't, it's no
You need to
good.
start making new laws.
Well, we don't make the laws here, basically. They're
Well, you
made
need
in
to start
Trenton.
talking to some of those guys up there in Trenton.
Well,
that's
that you
doing.
ought to talk to them, because they're the ones that put these things in place.
Well, they don't answer you, and all right.
Well, I can't help that. Yes,
I'd like to address something Mr. Cheatham just brought up, and then go into why I came to the meeting. History has proven that we've made many errors in the past. I stand in a building where I made an offer at the time it was owned by the CRDA. They weren't selling it. A month later, they sold it to the Taj. Later, when the Taj needed money, they bought it back. We have many reasons to be suspicious as citizens. Today's a new day. I'd like to talk about Pink. I see the mayor, I see Chris all the time on the boardwalk, on my morning walks. They don't see me on my evening walks too, but there's no one that knows this town. I don't need a map for streets, I know this town. And I know every property in this town. And Pink was a resounding success, judged by the number of smiles on people's faces. However, within the world of social media, I think we can do some things better. I've been to the Oktoberfest, I've been to the Dead Man, whatever that desert thing is, I've been out to the Rose Bowl, I've been to a million different festivals, including at least 10 beach concerts through the years. They were so much easier when I brought a blanket to the beach and sat. We may have over-organized ourselves to the point where people were kicked out of the places they paid $200 for. And when they tried to get back in because the tide was coming in, they were stopped by security. This isn't anything that I am making up. You can see it yourselves, the stories online. I went everywhere that night. I was on the View, a great view. I went to Bart Gladstein's Pier. We got to do something about this. I took the last picture out the window looking at the crowd when the staff came and closed it, and the observation deck was closed, and the upstairs deck was closed. And then Live Nation, with their curtains from the boardwalk so that you couldn't see what was going on. Who's negotiating the contract? Who's giving them the venue? I'd suggest we look at it differently. We should be streaming all concerts, including The Who, this weekend from Convention Hall, into every bar in town and create the party celebration. We used to be a town to go to because there was something going on everywhere, not a limited event. That's all I'm going to say today.
yes, sir.
Joseph Palua. Can you ask more than 2 questions here?
Depends how long they are.
No, I don't have any, but I just wanted to find out.
Look, if you have any questions, ask them.
Oh, yeah, I will. at a
That counts as
future
one of your
date.
questions.
No problem. I just wanted to know if you're.
Look,
allowed
we've
to
tried,
ask more
look,
than
we've
2
tried to
questions.
be open and transparent to everybody. I've never said to anybody we wouldn't answer your question.
Oh, yeah, it wasn't a snap at you. It was just an observation I wanted to find out at a legal constituted body if you can ask more than 2 questions. That's all.
It's described in the beginning of the meeting as the amount of time allowed for
Yeah,
public
we allow
comment.
3 minutes.
3 minutes, and you've always been flexible on that.
Absolutely.
Oh,
don't
you
think-
run a great meeting, sir.
Thank you. Yes, madam.
Hi, my name is Joyce Hagan. I'm Executive Director of the Atlantic City Arts Foundation. We recently co-produced 48 Blocks in the city in partnership with Stockton University. And I'm just here today to say thank you to Rick Santoro. I'm very sad he's also not here, and his whole SID crew for the help that they afforded us during that celebration of arts and creativity throughout the city. Not that we didn't have some bumpy incidents along the way. It was our first year attempt, and we need to refine procedures, but their crew was just absolutely incredible, and I really appreciate that.
I thank you very much for that. We're always nice to hear that, nice things. Yes, sir.
Steve Young, and I'm here on behalf of the Polaris Development Group, LLC. This is our 6th year of doing the Kentucky Avenue Renaissance Festival. It will be held on Saturday, August the 5th, 2017. And this year we'll be featuring the Stylistics Review, The Boss Man, and Angela Burton and Passion, as well as a lot of local groups, as well as groups from as far as Atlanta, Florida this year, and so forth, from reggae to hip hop to R&B and jazz. So we want to welcome everybody out. In the past years, and we're funded basically by residents and small businesses. And we don't receive no grants from the city or no government entities. So basically, I'm here as well to invite you, but also to actually any organizations that you may, or associations you may be associated with, to contribute to this cause. Because this is the only free event that we know in Atlantic City that's actually given in Atlantic City on a yearly basis, and is done by the community and not by government. We don't expect government to solve all our problems or do everything for us, so we are doing it for ourselves. And this is a unified event. We've asked CRDA to actually have it on their calendar, so as tourists come in, they can actually have some place to go, they have some food, listen to good music, live music, and have a good time. So again, I want to thank you in advance, and our number is at the bottom of the flyer where you can actually contribute and sponsor at this time. And we want to thank all those who have contributed in the past. Thank you very much.
Larry, do you have it on the? Good. Other comments from the public? Yes, sir.
How you doing? My name is Derek Kason. I'm former chairman of the Tourism District Advisory Commission. My first question is the daily sheet, will that be sent out to all of those who received the previous copy of the daily sheet on email? Is that still going to go out, the electronic version?
It does. That's also printable as well. You can actually print that. You don't only have to just look at the calendar. You actually can click and print that in a list form.
Okay. So I still administer the Tourism District Advisory Commission Facebook page, which we instituted when I was chairman, and I'd like to post that on the page, but the older version, as you said, was really
very daunting.
Yeah, really cumbersome as far as getting it people to look at. So thank you for that. Also, I am a photographer as well as a videographer, and I photographed both the Pink and the Brantley Gilbert concerts, and the other group, Dream Car, and Mr. Combs. And I provided all of those pictures to the mayor's office. I want to thank Mayor Guardian for giving me access to photograph those events, and hopefully I'll be able to photograph the Rough Riders concert. And you guys are welcome to use those photographs if you so desire. Please credit me if you do use them.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor?
Just two separate issues, just because they have to do with economic development. We had a very good week besides the concerts that you guys sponsored. And that is the state of New Jersey is providing funding for Atlantic City for any new home buyers. If you make less than $123,000 a year, you can receive $16,000 that can be used for a down payment and closing costs if you buy a home in Atlantic City, if you have not owned a home in the last 3 years. That's one program. Second program is for new small businesses. It provides $20,000 that will pay for the first 2 years, half of your rent to get you started, or if you're buying the business, the $20,000 can be used either for a facade or for interior renovations. You can find out additional information from planning and development of the city, but both of them are well worth it. I also want to just let you know that we were very happy with Live Nation after they had the 2 successful contracts. Not only did they pay us our money, which we're grateful to, meaning the city, they provided a contribution to the Boys and Girls Club for $30,000 to help with their program. And the next concert, which is Rough Riders, which we certainly, I'm glad, is going to be an urban concert. They will be providing 6,000 free tickets to residents of Atlantic City. We'll be announcing that, how you get it through City Hall in a few days. So I just want to thank you for sponsoring these concerts and making it available to residents that would not be able to afford to attend.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Any other public comments? Yes, sir.
John Hines, Concert Quality Production Services. Along the theme of the beach concerts, and I know Mr. Howard and I have had numerous discussions about this, I would like to just kind of plant the seed in everyone's head that now is the time to begin planning for next summer. Year after year in the paper, it's been expressed, hey, we want to do more beach concerts, we want 6 of them. We're second week into July, we just got the first one done. I can tell you that the caliber of artists that you want to try to attract now is when they're doing schedules. You hit October, you're not on that calendar, you're not getting them, okay? That's number one. Number two, you have to find a way to create a venue that allows other promoters to participate in it. I know everybody at the moment, everybody's very happy with Live Nation, they pulled this thing off. But I'm not necessarily sure that their practices are in the best interest of the community or this organization. The reality is we're Atlantic City. We're supposed to be essentially the entertainment capital of the East Coast. And there are numerous shows out there that we should be able to attract and have out there. Also, it's the economic development aspect of what this program really does. If Pink, for instance, was worth $22 to $25 million in economic development, then simple math tells you repeat it 5 times, 6 times in the course of the season, it's $150 worth of portable money coming in the community, which is exactly what we need. We need people to spend it at restaurants and lodging, transportation, parking, things of that nature. It's the kind of shot in the arm that the city needs. More importantly, from a marketing standpoint, we really need to get our profile up fast, because even though next summer we have Hard Rock coming online, at some point we're going to be faced with North Jersey casinos again. And we need to kind of get developers to look at Atlantic City as, hey, I want to invest in property, I want to develop property. We want the stakeholders that are currently here to feel good about making additional investment in the properties. So to that point, I would suggest that it might be in the best interest of the board to develop a subcommittee of professionals throughout the entertainment industry within Atlantic City, gentlemen such as Mr. Escher, Mr. Schmall, people from the casinos, other promoters, to put together recommendations of how to produce beach concerts that are in the best interest of this organization and give us the maximum financial impact for the community.
First of all, I want to say that I think that we all understand exactly what you said. Getting 5 or 6 concerts on the beach is not easy. The fact that we have started on these a long time ago is indicative of how hard it is to do. I think that if you wait around till after the executive session, you'll find out that we are looking in new directions for things to happen in the city. No one knows better than we do about how difficult it's been to deal with Live Nation sometimes. So that's about all I want to say on it, but I understand what you're saying. I also want you to know that this board is very much up on that, understands the issues, and knows how far out in advance you have to do these things. Sometimes you just don't get people that want to come here. And sometimes if they're not on a tour and that we're not on that, fit into their tour, you can't get them. I don't think any of us would have objected to 5 beach concerts if we'd have been able to pull them off, but we weren't. And so I just want you to know that it's something that we feel is part of our mission to provide this kind of entertainment for the city and for particularly Boardwalk Hall and the Convention Center for events and for other things to bring people in. And I think you'll see some action in that direction.
Thank you, sir.
Yes,
I have one more thing to say. I asked this question before, and I'm asking it again. Now, this board here takes care of our promotions and bringing shows to our city. And I always try to think ahead in the future. Now, the way our government is run in Trenton, I never know how long this CRDA is going to be here in Atlantic City. They're taking half of some of our money away now, trying to pay debts. But if we had the money in front, we might have been able to pay our own debts, but that's another story. You know, what's going to happen to Atlantic City if you guys go with all this promotions and bringing shows here to Atlantic City? Who's going to furnish that financing, that money? You see, I mean, these are the things I think about these things awful lot.
Mr. Cheatham, I have spoken about that ad nauseum, about the issue of the dollars. I think people are very much aware of it. I think really you should go see your local legislators who all participated in the bill to take the money and let them understand that they've hampered this. I mean, look, the ACA went away. That was $30 million a year to promote the city. So, you know, there's a lot of things that have happened here that are beyond our control. As far as I know, my term exists till June 15th, 2019, and I'll be here that long, God willing, but I don't know what'll happen after that. But, look, I just want you to understand, I'm being a little facetious, but I just want you to understand, there isn't anybody on this board who doesn't take seriously what our responsibility is. And even if we have a disagreement at times about how to do something, we usually find a way to resolve it, unlike Washington. And we're really here to try and get, look, I think everybody will agree, we're on the upswing after the bottom. And we have to continue that progress, and we have to continue that movement.
I think about these things, you know, I think too much, really. I need to stop. Another thing about these promote these schedules and things. You got to realize that I'm still behind the 8 ball. I don't catch up on all this email and stuff. Where do you get the hard copies where I can hold in my hand and read?
At the
You
visitor
still
center
print these things
on the
anymore?
boardwalk in Mississippi Avenue.
What?
At the Boardwalk Visitor Information Center at the Boardwalk in Mississippi Avenue.
Now, don't
You
let
can
me
pick
go
a
up there and I
copy
can't get a copy.
You
Tell you
can
that
get
right
a
now.
copy of the calendar's events there.
All right, I'm gonna try it.
I'm sure before you leave, Mr. Sieg would be happy to give you a copy. Yes, sir.
Mr. Mulcahy, I just want to piggyback on Mr. Hines one moment and what you were saying. And I have addressed City Council. You know, there's a lot of very, very good local entertainers here with world-class experience. And, everybody's been kind of, mentioning Live Nation. And, one of the things I would like you to consider is having some means of allowing local entertainers to assist you in entertaining the public that comes to Atlantic City. I myself am an entertainer. I've played for many years, back when Kentucky Avenue was in its heyday. As a child, I was in a band at the Wonder Gardens, and there was a group down the street at the Club Harlem called Sister Sledge, who was the house band there.
Remember the name.
I've toured the world many, many times over, visiting countries like Japan, Korea, Italy, many places, and we're very well received. And that entertainment, those entertainers, folks like Mr. Young mentioned, Angela Burton in Passion, and the boss man, John Hall, who was on America's Got Talent. We should be utilized here at home. We have tons of experience, and we should be entertaining people that come to Atlantic City if you can't get a Pink or a Brantley Gilbert. So I would just ask that you would consider that in your deliberations, please.
Well, certainly, but a couple of years ago, we used to support an awful lot of community entertainment here, as I think the mayor will attest to. And a lot of that went by the boards when they decided to strip us of our funds. Because I really believe that the community needs that kind of what's the word I'm looking for here?
Participation.
Involvement, yeah, involvement and environment, and it brings together people, and you start to feel like you're a family again in the city. I understand that, Mayor.
Mr. Chairman, I just want to make sure everyone understands, the CRDA does sponsor for free concerts Thursday, Friday, Sunday, and Monday at Kennedy Plaza, local bands that perform. The second thing I wanted to mention to you, if you don't know this, there were 5 companies that came that said they wanted to do beach concerts. We reserved the dates for all 5 companies. When it came time to put up, meaning put money down, the $30,000 deposit, all of them disappeared. So they came, made lots of announcements, came to city council, did TV shows, went on the radio, told you about all the people they were going to bring, all the things they were going to do, But when the time came to produce, they weren't able to produce. We certainly are very open, and you can't find a better location than the beach for these concerts, but it's hard to find producers that are able to produce the funding to be able to put up a stage, the insurance, and bring in the entertainment we're looking for. I can't do it, but I want to tell you that there's lots of people that were given the opportunity that fell short.
I was there, I was there.
Okay, I think we're
Quickly.
beating the subject up, Joe.
Same subject.
Yes, sir.
Second question.
I never said you had it first.
No, I know. I'm being sarcastic about something else.
Yes.
Like Mr. Rosenberg said, check the tide table and start early, like Mr. Hines said, because the high tide wiped out half the beach, right? And you should look into facing the stage west towards Ventnor, Margate, and Longport. It's a hell of a lot longer beach, and there's nothing in the way. That's all.
It's easier to see too, the sun is behind you.
Well, then you're taking them out of Atlantic City.
No,
It's on the
it's
other
on
side
the
of the pier.
Oh, I see what you're doing.
Down.
All right.
Much longer.
Any other questions? Hearing none, I'll close the public comment section. I'll entertain a motion to go into executive session.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I do expect announcements to come out of public session. It may take, out of executive session, it may take a little bit of time. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, we're back in public session. There are two items that we wish to take up as a matter of board action. We've had conversations with two groups to bring additional events into our facilities in Atlantic City. As I sort of indicated before, when we had questions to public session, there are things that we've been doing. The first group, we've had discussions with William Morris and IMG, two world-famous organizations that will bring a world-class stable of performers and potential events to Atlantic City. And in my opinion, they're without peer in the industry. They've made a corporate decision to invest in Atlantic City. And I think it's a profound endorsement of the resort's entertainment future and CRDA's development strategy. So I think with William Morris and IMG, the CRDA will have a true entertainment partner for events at Boardwalk Hall, Convention Center, and potentially other events. And I think they, like the CRDA, are interested in developing long-term destination events. I would like to ask William Morris Agency to make a short presentation for the public so that they have an understanding of what we're going to do. Mark, would you do that and introduce your people?
Good afternoon, Mark Rivers, and my colleagues Rachel Flytel and Len DeLuca, who will share a little bit of our presentation today. We appreciate the opportunity to present to you and the dialogue that we've had. So we have been working over the last 60 to 90 days with CRDA and trying to identify a way that we could all work together and bring some of our resources to bear. We are believers in Atlantic City. We believe Atlantic City's brightest days are ahead. We believe that it's a world-class destination, and we're proud to be talking with you and potentially partnering with you. What we've been focused on during this period and rolling our sleeves up a little bit is looking at a way that we could work strategically to help create opportunities here in Atlantic City, not drive-by, not fly-by events, but opportunities, events and experiences and activities that can come into town, generate economic activity, generate interest, and have a super regional impact, among other things. As you can see there on some of those bullets, focus on destination events in particular, super regional, best-in-class events, many times off-season, we've, in our studies and the work that we've done so far, we actually haven't even focused on summer at all. We focused on those periods that are sort of between Labor Day and Memorial Day, if you follow the first short round. Our efforts and work has been focused on Boardwalk Hall and the Convention Center, and what we've really looked at doing is finding a way in which it's a true partnership and we can develop two-way economics. We can invest in events and activities here in the community. You can invest alongside us. You also have the opportunity to recapture some of your investment. And so we'll structure these different opportunities, events, and activities so that there is participation for the CRDA and you can continue to harvest and reharvest your funds for your work. We'll walk through here in a second. Rachel and Len will walk you through a number of the WME and the IMG proprietary properties and global relationships. And as you said at the very beginning, Mr. Chairman, our view is to try to develop a long-term relationship here, build these events over multiple years, have them succeed, have them be successful, and also to see if we can identify some events that can be collaborated hand in glove with Atlantic City, so that it's part of the Atlantic City brand. It's part of the knowledge that consumers will have about the experiences that they can have when they go to Atlantic City. So with that, I'll turn it over to Rachel and Len, and go from there.
Okay, my name is Len DeLuca. I'm Senior Vice President of Original Content at WME IMG. A brief thing about WME IMG, as some of you know, I won't assume that all do. WME comes from the oldest representation agency in the United States, William Morris Agency, that was bought by Endeavor only 19 years ago. And WME then purchased IMG, the oldest sports marketing agency that was founded by Mark McCormick in 1960. And together our influence is unmatched, both on the entertainment and sports worlds. Here, just to give you a glimpse of what we are trying to do in creating, and the key word here is a partnership with Atlantic City, because we view this as an opportunity to bring all our assets here. We do currently 400 sports media package rights. We have 52,000 hours of sports programming. The kind of, and I'll stop there, the kind of relationship we want to grow here is one that in my past I grew with Mr. Chairman Mulcahy, Chair DiLorenzo, Your Honor, Mayor Guardian, and both at CBS, likening it to what we did at CBS with the NCAA basketball, and with ESPN and the College Football Championship, creating destination, creating an event, and a series of events here that's a long-term partnership. This is what we touch. 9,000 artists, athletes, and creators, 750 best-selling book writers. We can run the gamut of entertainment, which is a daily and weekly growing exponentially world. Those are the 6 verticals we work across: Hollywood, fashion, culinary, sports, and that happens to be one of our clients as well, Serena Williams, who was otherwise busy and due at the end of August and beginning of September. And then she'll come back and win more majors. Art and music. These are our clients at WME, from the lovely and talented Martin Scorsese in the middle and bottom as a director, to the beautiful actors and actresses, writers that we have at our avail and would employ. We own properties: Wimbledon, PBR, Mid-Right, Lollapalooza, the taste events around the world, the color runs, and we are associated with owning or managing 44 fashion weeks around the world, including New York Fashion Week, including the Frieze Art Fair, one of our newest acquisitions within the last year. Those are our corporate clients for whom we do the branding. This is just under the heading. This is the company that we would hope, as we go forward, that Atlantic City would keep. Kia, Rolex, Visa, Etihad, energy companies like NRG, we do their marketing. And this is, we call it the beehive slide, but it shows you the divisions to the left of our representation world at WME, to the right of our production world. We would bring all of those assets, those 20 divisions, as we do in all of our dealings, in dealing with Atlantic City and dealing with the issues in growing this partnership.
Just to highlight a couple of the divisions in the company, we have a huge music department that fits across 3 specific areas within music. So Len already mentioned we represent talent. We represent some of the biggest talent across music. You see Adele on there. We have a big country music presence in Nashville. We're sort of across the board in all types of music. We also book 33,000 tour dates a year, so we are extremely active, aware of everything that's going on in the music space, and we're involved in festivals as well. We are very close with Lollapalooza. Internationally, we have an ownership stake there. We own several country music festivals, and sort of in general, the company is very involved in festivalization, so we are looking to build and create events that have a festival aspect. They don't have just music, but they have food as well, or they have some digital component, and they're fully interactive, immersive experiences.
I think that gives the board a pretty good rundown here.
Mr. Chairman, can I just say just two
Sure.
things just to conclude, if I could, and I apologize. Two things. Number one is we're prepared to bring all of these resources to bear. You know, the organization's holistic. Whatever's needed to accomplish the goals, we'll use the entire organization, number one. But number two, perhaps more importantly, we're listeners. We're happy to learn. We're happy to listen. A lot of you're embedded here in this community. We're happy to listen and learn as we go ahead and build a year-long strategy. We're happy to talk to the gaming industry. You know, we're happy to work with any of you. We don't think we know it all. We know a lot, but we don't know it all. And we're happy to learn and be educated and partner. That's all I'd say. So,
I want to thank you on behalf of the board. Obviously, there have been discussions about some of the specifics, but in order to negotiate a contract and to put the staff in a position to specify the events, like other things, we're going to have to pass a resolution to approve a fund reservation so that we will have the money for the next year and a half for 17 and 18. And I might add that one of the positives of this relationship is that we're going to enter into agreements that provide that we get some money back in terms of the ticket sales, concessions, parking, and so on, which certainly helps to mitigate part of the fund reservation. So with that, I would ask our counsel if he would read the appropriate resolution.
Sure, Mr. Chairman. Resolution of the Casino Reinvestment Development Authority approving a fund reservation in an amount not to exceed $4 million and the negotiation and execution of a non-exclusive public-private partnership agreement with William Morris Endeavor Entertainment and International Management Group for entertainment events and special events at Boardwalk Hall, the Atlantic City Convention Center, and other Atlantic City venues.
Is there a motion?
I'll move it.
Is there a second?
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion among board members? Any discussion from the public? Seeing and hearing none, all those in favor of the resolution, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered. Gentlemen and ladies, thank you very much.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
Oh.
If you'll just wait for a minute, guys, before we
Of course.
go.
We'll let the next.
The second item on the agenda, which is indicative of our movement in directions to improve the use of our facilities, comes from our operators of the Boardwalk Hall and the Convention Center, Spectra, with their position in the Comcast Universal Corporate Tree. And part of this gives us an opportunity to leverage our current facility management with Spectra. And we have engaged in marketing discussions with Comcast Universal Corporate, exploring their family of networks and possible opportunities. Comcast brings a wealth of shows, events, and platforms for Atlantic City to take advantage of. And we will be announcing soon a televised event being brought to Atlantic City. So with that, I would like, who's going to be the chief spokesman here?
Mr.
Chair.
Yeah.
Again, good to see everybody. Todd Glickman, Senior Vice President of Development for Comcast Spectacor and Spectra. We've got the one slide up. I'm going to ask our gentleman from the Golf Channel to stand up, give a quick overview of Golf Channel, then I'll ask Bob Schwartz, our head of marketing, to do a quick overview of the others, and then we're here for questions. But we want to say thank you for this opportunity. We're very excited to be able to leverage our assets. Mr. Chair, I think that's a great usage of words in terms of the tree, the family tree, and we're able to basically pull some apples from the tree. So with that.
Thank you, Todd. Bart Kendall, VP of Live Events at Golf Channel. And we were talking today and for the last several weeks about a very specific event as part of the World Long Drive Tour, a franchise that Golf Channel has bought in the last year in the process of developing a televised tour featuring the longest hitters of the golf ball in the world, sort of the anti-golf. Very fun, energetic, loud, entertaining, athletes hitting balls a lot longer than humanly feasible or possible, up to a quarter mile in some cases, men and women competing as well, looking at iconic venues here in Atlantic City. Obviously you can't do it in Boardwalk Hall, but places like Bader Field we've looked at, other locations. The idea here is through this program, through this event, is profile Atlantic City, and one thing that NBC and Golf Channel does very well is tell stories. As part of the opportunity, there's a traditional event sponsorship, awareness benefits, commercial units, etc. But the opportunity for us to tell the story about Atlantic City and what's important, what makes this region unique, bringing in our travel experts to do special programs, special features on what Atlantic City has to offer, and the opportunity to build something, we hope, over many years. We know that nothing's guaranteed. We know that we have to prove ourselves in year one, but build something that the local community will be proud of, they'll think it's a lot of fun, they'll tell their friends and tell their friends. So it's an event that's with a lot of energy. We have a quick video here. Mr. Chairman, if you think that would be worth showing. I know some in this room have seen it a couple times already.
Yep, that's okay. It's a public session. We
Give you a little flavor for what this is Bader Field right there. So it's an event with a lot of fun. We're excited about the opportunity to bring it to Atlantic City. And obviously Golf Channel shows all kinds of golf, run the gamut from serious golf. Obviously, and we partner with IMG on a number of golf events, both in Europe as well as in the US. So certainly familiar with the good work that they do as well. So, you know, we're proud to be here in the same room with them. We're also very thankful for the opportunity to present to you today.
We appreciate that. Todd, you want to thank you?
Yes, sir. Bob, could you please get up and talk briefly just about the other opportunities?
Sure. Thank you. 3 more Comcast NBC Universal properties we'd like to bring to Atlantic City to increase tourism, raise national awareness, and really showcase what's going on here. Today's show comes in for 1 day. Kathy Lee and Hoda appear at Atlantic City at an iconic location to be agreed upon. They talk about fashion, they talk about the chefs, they talk about all the activities that Atlantic City has. Once Kathy Lee says it, it becomes gospel according to some. So they have approximately 3 million household viewers every day, get you that national exposure that you're looking for. American Ninja Warriors, the show actually comes here and sets up shop here in Atlantic City. So the whole obstacle course is brought here to Atlantic City, 10 days, move in, move out, approximately 125 people. We'll be working on the show, and additional hotel rooms and hopefully table people come as well. But that's something that fulfills the 3 goals, the American Ninja Warrior show. In addition to that, there's 4 hours of primetime programming from 8 to 10 on Monday nights once that gets finished. America's Got Talent is an audition program that we believe to take place in the Convention Hall or Boardwalk Hall, and that is something that will offer us national exposure here in Atlantic City as well within that package. Sharknado is not a Comcast NBC Universal show, but it is owned by Comcast NBC. It is on the Sci-Fi Network, and those of you who are familiar with the show, it's a little bit ridiculous, but it had over 1 billion impressions on Twitter last summer. There's a new show that begins in August, and our goal is to set up a fun house, if you will, in the west end of Boardwalk Hall, whereby people would come in on a regular basis, similar to seeing the light show you have at night now, but 3 times, 4 times a week, have that throughout the summer, and really put Atlantic City on the cool map for millennials, people who are on social media, and those types of things. So listen, thank you very much. Really excited about bringing some of these events to Atlantic City.
Thank you both very much. I know that this has been a sort of a historic day for this board in terms of the groups that we've had in here and what we're looking to accomplish. We may not be able to do all of the events, but we're certainly going to look carefully at each one and what they bring to us and how we go. In order to accomplish that, we need another fund reservation, and Paul, if you would be kind enough to read that for me.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Resolution of the Casino Reinvestment Development Authority approving a fund reservation in an amount not to exceed $3 million in the negotiation and execution of a non-exclusive public-private partnership agreement with Comcast NBC Universal for entertainment events and special events at Boardwalk Hall, the Atlantic City Convention Center, and other Atlantic City venues.
Comments from board members? Public comments? Seeing none, hearing none, I'll accept the motion to approve the fund resolution.
So moved.
Been moved by Mr. Rebuck. Is there a second? Seconded by Mr. Hill. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered. I accept the motion for adjournment. Seconded. All those in favor of adjourning, adjourn. We're adjourned. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.